Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We're going to be looking at Huion's Kamvas 22 along with the key dial and pen. We're going to be editing one of my toy photos on this pen display. Thanks again to Huion for sending this to me, and let's get into the video. Alright, so here we have our basic images. I have two layers right here, right? So I'll take one off to show you. Okay, so this is the layer that I shot with just Batman, and this is the layer that I shot with Joker, and I have that stand that you have right here. One of the things I need to do is actually take out this stand. Right, and that's why I shoot two layers, is that I'll be able to just remove the layer using a layer mask. All right, so the layer mask is going to be down here. I'm just going to click on that, and I've created a layer mask, and what I need to do is just brush black over it. Okay, when I'm using the pen display, it's actually really fun because I can get in closer, and I'm going to be more precise by using my pen. So this has been really a fun one to do. I know that most people probably do this when they're editing, but I highly encourage you guys, if you guys can get a pen display and actually use a pen, it's like coloring on a sheet of paper. This is actually real fun, right? And let's just kind of take it out. There you go. Now, what I noticed as I was taking this shot is that the Joker himself actually was able to stand all by himself. So that was, I had to stand there early on because I don't know, for some reason the tortilla kept tipping him, and it was a bit frustrating, so I put the stand there, but then eventually he started to stand on his own and it was really okay. So there you go. I'm not gonna, I put my hardness over at 50. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, but I'm going to take out the most that I can without getting too close right yet, and then eventually I'll get in a little bit closer, right? So this has been real fun, just kind of using the pen to get in up and close on details as well. So I have to, keep clicking in to zoom in and all that stuff, which was I'm still getting used to it, but it's actually been really fun overall. All right, so there I can actually get in real close to kind of just remove that stand. Now you notice that the blues aren't the same. Obviously, when you're shooting in front of your television screen, well, it can actually create, because the luminosity might change depending on what your shutter speed is. So yeah, what I do is I just basically try to brush everything out. Sometimes I'll just use a larger brush to cover most of it, but it should be okay in the end. All right, I'm just doing this real quick so that I can kind of get closer in to delete the stand entirely. There we go. So we got to figure out, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here just to see where the stand actually might be. Alright, so it's going to be right here, right? That little metal piece that's just protruding outside of Batman's boot. So let's take that off. There you go. There. Alright, and let's go over onto the other side. And there we go. Okay, we'll zoom in a little bit more. And we can take it out right here as well. And like I said, normally I would have been doing this with my trackpad, but using the pen display has really been a fun experience because I can actually really get in and work on the details. Pride myself in not using too much Photoshop, but I did have to talk about this wonderful Kamvas 22 that Huion sent me. And so this has been a real pleasure to work with. Alright, look, we even got a thread coming down from the Joker's pants. How about we take that out of there? Right? Slight imperfection that, could be fun to leave in, but just for the sake of editing, I'm going to take it out. There we go. Zoom out. And there you go. The stand is completely gone. Alright, and that's by using these two layers right here. I just created a layer mask. Now normally what I'm going to do is I'd flatten this image, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's the one thing, like I wish this was a smart tablet where I could actually just touch the screen up here and do all my things, all right, so instead of using my pen to go do it. So I've been using my keyboard on the side from my computer, but it can be a little clunky in terms of trying to get things access quickly. Now I'm still learning, obviously. Some people might have actually had the shortcuts planned out and all that stuff. I managed to program a little bit of the key dial right here. in a keyboard dial right here, which has really been fun. But at the same time, I haven't really identified these, so I'm still learning where I actually put my shortcut keys. All right, but for the sake of just editing a little bit more, what I wanted to do is to show you, like, you know, what I did in terms of like with Batman's eyes. I always like adding Batman's white eyes. All right, so what I did is I create a layer right here, and obviously there's a shortcut, but I don't know it by heart. That's how used to Photoshop I am. Batman eyes. There we go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to color that in. Okay, but we're going to zoom in a little bit more, obviously, so that we can get really into where Batman's eyes are. Let's scroll up. That's super fun. I like seeing how sharp this is as well. You know, Batman looks really good. I love that face, that head sculpt a lot. So I'm actually going to reduce this to, let's say, 5. Right? It gives me, you know, let's see if I can adjust my brush size. I can actually go in a little bit more. This is actually 3, but I want to zoom in more. So I see a little bit more. There we go. That's going to be easier to color in, right? All right. So now I'm working on my brush size. Let's color these in white, but I'm going to actually reduce a little bit more. So now I'm at 3 brush size if you look at the top of the screen. And there we go. We're just going to color in Batman's eyes, make them as wide as we can. And then after that, we're going to just add a little bit of a glow to it. So his eye is right here. There we go. Okay, so if I zoom out, you'll see it already added a little bit to Batman, right? It just changes his whole look. So there you go. Goes from this, and now we've got ourselves like a live looking Batman, and that's so much fun. Just the eyes are doing a lot of the work in this case. Now if we add a glow, it adds a little bit more drama to it, and I love that. So here we go. We'll do that. Then we're going to go down to our effects, and we're going to write outer glow. And because I had already planned out what I needed with the outer glow, we can like work on the opacity, whether we want it to be glowing or not. So if you can see, this is a slight adjustment. Okay, we had it over at 58, so I'll keep close to that. But then we have our spread. If we want the size, see, okay, little disco, right? So it depends on how much glow you want. Too much is going to look weird, but you could have it in a night scene and all that stuff. Well, I like it just a little, like the spread itself doesn't have to be too dramatic. Right there, you can do that if you want, right? But right there, I think that roughly around 15 here, I'll just write it in that way, be easy. And then the size itself depends on what you want to do. Right, I don't want it to be too big. Right there should be really cool, around 8. And then the opacity, then you adjust like exactly how much white you want there to be. Right, so I figured like around 50, 58 there is where I had it. All right, maybe take it down to 55, 56. And I'm going to click OK. Now we've got our Batman eyes. Let's zoom out and see what that looks like. There you go. So we've got ourselves a really interesting glow on Batman's eyes, right? So let me just center this a little bit. Okay, if I take it off, that's what Batman looks like. And with the eyes, see, just that little detail changes the picture in my opinion. I think that's really, really fun. Okay, so now I will have to crop my images. As you can see, this is the top of my television right here. Okay, and this is the ruler where I have a light that's actually shining down on Joker right here. That's what's lighting up the side of his face right here, and a little bit of Batman right there as well. And then you'll see at the bottom right here, this is where the ground level for my base is. Okay, so normally when I'm shooting, I try to keep a 4:5 ratio, okay, inside my edit lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my crop right now so that I can have my most basic image for the end. Okay, so this is the 5:4 ratio, so 8:10. And normally I just use my trackpad for this, where I'm going to select, and then I can adjust where it is I want my screen to be. Now, see right here up at the top, okay, I'm actually going to keep as much as I can in the image. That means I might have to take a little bit out of the bottom. But that's fine. I'll show you guys what I'll do with that is I'm just going to clone stamp a little bit over it. So if that's the crop that I want, okay, just press enter. And see, I still have a bit of the TV screen there. What I could do is, because I have a lot of room on this side and I have a bit of room on this side as well, what I can do is I can just kind of tighten it a little bit if I want. Okay, let me just get in there. Right, I don't want that little part. So there, that's good. Okay, and that's going to be nice and tight. There we go. Maybe that beam is a little annoying as well, so we could probably take that out a little bit. There, doesn't look too bad like that. I even gained a little bit of room up there, so I can actually lift it up a little bit. There. And if you see where my main focus is going to be, because it's divided in 9 squares, I have them here, perfectly centered on this line and this line. That means whenever a viewer sees the image, their attention is going to be drawn directly to those lines. So enter. And we've got our first crop. Okay, now in order to create this clone stamp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select it right here. Okay, but I'm going to go to my edit layer. Okay, this is where I was telling you guys earlier where I'm going to make most of the changes. If ever I have to make any changes in the image, I'm going to use it on the edit layer. It's going to be right here. Okay, so as you can see, my clone stamp is already pretty big. Now, in order to kind of use that and bring this out, I'm going to press Alt and select just above. Okay, because look, everything is out of focus here, so it doesn't really matter what I select because everything's going to be out of focus here. I just have to color match. All right, so I'm going to select right here. And then after that, I can color in down here. Okay. Now, maybe my hardness is not too bad. Put it down to 2. I could actually bring this down to 250. Might actually be a little bit better. All right. So let's start that over. Get a little bit closer. Select here. And then this color in the bottom right here. All right. Try to bring it in so that it's as uniform as possible. There we go. Now we're getting a little bit closer to the edge here, so what I can do is I can actually just kind of select a little bit just above, let's say right here, and then kind of color that in there as well. And then after that, it's really easy because I just have to brush over, and there you have it. It's really not that hard. If I wanted to make it a little bit better, what I could do is select a little higher, I guess, and actually make my brush a little bit bigger. Let's do that. Brush size. There, like that. And then just select again and kind of just brush over. There. Nope, there's a little bit down there at the bottom. Let's take that out. There. So, there you have it. I actually just managed to create that, and I kept as much as I could inside the picture. All right, so let me select this right here. Last but not least, what we needed to do is create the splash effect for Batman. Right here, we can actually kind of tell what's going on, but at the same time, we don't know that Batman got hit. I wanted to do this practically, but for the sake of actually using this tablet, what I wanted to do is create the effect in Photoshop. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this layer right here, the Joker eyes, and we're going to create another layer over it where we're going to use a brush that's a sand brush in order to create the impact of what that tortilla would have been, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a layer, new layer right here, and we're going to call that, I don't know, water splash. Water splash. And it's not really a water splash, to be honest. It's just going to be an impact. Let's see, splash right there. Right? Because the tortilla challenge itself is they're supposed to have water in their mouths, and after that what they're going to do is they're going to spit it out. Now Batman's not really spitting it out, but at the same time what we could do is just, you know, have him kind of have an impact in here. So let's go select our brush tool. No, I don't want that. Brushes right here, and then I have a series of brushes that I've downloaded from the internet. Oh look, these ones are already selected already. Let's see. This one right here, bigger. We want it smaller. Right. And we want to make sure that Batman is getting hit on the side of the face. Let's kind of brush it like that. What we can do is also just kind of put it in right here so that we can actually highlight the impact. So let me see if I can make my brush much smaller and just kind of brush on the side of his face a little bit right here. There you go. Right? So we got our impact now. That's actually really cool. I like that a lot. And then we're going to use a layer mask, select our base brush. Okay, we can add that to, I don't know, maybe we'll put it up to 15. And then we can adjust our brush size as we want. We want to highlight, whoops, go back down to black. We want to highlight his face, obviously, and not just the impact of the splash. Right? So, there, like that. That's pretty good. Okay, we can even, if we want, we can actually move this around, see what looks better. If we want to hide that a little bit, there you go. Okay, now that I've got this, that we've played with it a little bit, what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of that to Joker as well. All right. So now we can take a little bit of that stuff out. All right, now we're almost done the edit in this case. Like right here, I want to add a water bottle. So I went into effects. Let's see. Oh, actually, I'm just going to write in water. Water bottle. So I have it right here, and I'm just going to drag it in. And I have my water bottle. Now the water bottle itself, okay, I want it to look as though Batman has dropped it, right? And this is a really easy process, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it more accurate to the size of the figures, so that looks like a water bottle, roughly that size right there. All right. Press enter to place it, and then after that I just have to switch the blend mode to screen. And then I have to just work on the contrast and erase what's around. All right, so there we go. Apologies for the cut. What happened was my computer froze, and I continued making adjustments and all that stuff. But anyway, so this is what the water bottle is going to look like. I had a few details right here with the splash because I wanted it to look a little bit bigger, right? So let's zoom out and see what that's going to look like. There we go. So the final finishing touch that I like to put on this is going to be adjusting the exposure itself, right? I like putting a little sheen on it to make it, I don't know. There's one of my buddies showed me how to do it. I just like the look. I don't exactly know what to call it, but I'll show you what I do. I go into this one right here, right? And I just go to exposure, and then I'll fix the offset right here. And usually what I do is I put it at 0.015. Okay, if I were to take it off, just to show you what it looks like, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in right here, like this, right? It just gives it that extra little sheen. Okay, and there you have it. That would be the final image for the Tortilla Challenge Joker versus Batman that I've been creating since a little bit earlier. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll give you my final thoughts in just a second. All right, so there you have it. Thanks again for tuning into the video, and thanks again to Huion for sending me the Kamvas 22. As you can see throughout the video, I was detailing the pros and cons of what I enjoyed on working from the tablet. I don't think I'll go back to editing just with my trackpad. I really enjoyed the experience of working and editing one of my pictures, actually now multiple pictures, some that you haven't seen yet, on the tablet itself. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, leave them down below. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and go give Huion a follow, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and whatever. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.